Hey, guys, welcome to Double Shot of Pirates. I'm Dejan Kovacevic. He's Chris Halleck out in Indianapolis covering the NFL Scouting Combine. And this is going to be an interesting show. I'm not sure I'd been expecting or what I'd been expecting from Derek Shelton in advance of the Pirates meeting the Twins today in Bradenton. But it was going to be a chance for everybody down there who covers the Pirates, including our own Jose Negron, to talk to Shelton for the first time since his firing middle of last season. And Shelton had some stuff to say. How are you, Chris?
I'm good. I'm actually going to be learning about this. I had a couple of meetings today that I'm sworn to secrecy on. So
then we will be seeing your reaction in real time.
All right, here we go.
Shelton, you can tell he had a little bit of a plan here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He said, as it relates to the Pirates spending and improving their team this offseason, I think at some point you wish you would have seen the investment that they saw this offseason, but good for them, meaning while he was there. I'm very happy for Ben Cherington that he had the ability to go out and acquire guys. They're a better club than they probably were at any point in my tenure here with the people that they've added. And it's going to be exciting to see. They have the best pitcher in the game, obviously. They have the best prospect in the game, who is uber exciting to watch. I'm a little disappointed he's not in the lineup today because he's a guy that you want to watch. I'll talk about Connor Griffin, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy for Pirates fans that they got the investment they did this offseason. Gee whiz, Shelty, who are you talking about there?
Yeah.
No, I'm not criticizing him.
No,
listen. Right is right.
Yeah. I mean, it's good when things like this happen, honestly, because yes, we can talk about how unfair Major League Baseball system is, and it is. When you have a payroll disparity at the level that Major League Baseball has, things are not right. That being said, it does not change the fact that Bob Nutting has pinched pennies for years.
Ever, yeah.
So from Derek Shelton's perspective, sure, he probably knew he was taking on a situation that was going to be painful for a little while. Okay, fine. But I remember covering games in 2022. It was my first year with this company. I covered 30-something games that year, so I was around the team for a decent amount of time. For the time I started working here in June of that year, so for that second half of the season, I was around the team pretty frequently, and the vibes were okay. The corner is going to start turning here, whether it be in 2023, but definitely by 2024. And well, lo and behold, here we are. It's 2026. And we finally started to see the actual the front office and ownership throw its weight behind that entire endeavor. I'd be frustrated if I were Derek Shelton too.
Well, it's been Bob Nutting became controlling owner of the Pirates in 2007. And I'd say in all that time, and now we're obviously talking 19 years, and I've covered that entire tenure, covered his takeover back then. The number of people who have piped up about him in any capacity publicly, oh boy, is it one or two? I mean, and do I need to include Michael Keaton? I mean, it's one, and I think this is one of the reasons, Chris, and I'm really speaking for myself here. Fans want the media to do all of their screaming and shouting and yelling for them.
It's not our job.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I get it to an extent, especially in my role as columnist, okay, because we're actually supposed to do commentary. That's the gig.
Yeah.
But what very seldom ever gets brought up is why almost nobody else does this. But yet when I talk to people, and it's behind the scenes and so forth, it's all nutting this, nutting that, nutting this, nutting that. And I relay that. And it's just, it's not the same. I'll say, oh, yeah, people are really upset with nutting or whatever, because you don't have a name attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
And even today, I'm not going to lie here. Shelton doesn't have a whole heck of a lot to gain other than getting something off his chest. He's there in Bradenton. He's reminded of the whole thing, and he just vents. I don't know that he looks great in front of the fans in Minneapolis by doing any of this. I don't think they would care that much. You want to talk about a team that's really constrained financially. Jeez.
Yeah.
But he at least got it out of his system. He at least said something. Almost everybody else who departs, if they're fired, nothing. Zero. And that's not a small issue.
Knowing, again, having been around Shelton at least enough and seeing how much he really enjoys just the game of baseball.
Well, he enjoys life. He's a happy guy.
Yeah. It's, you could tell, it's hard to not take it personally when you pour yourself into a job and you don't feel like you have the backing that you need. And he could have criticized anybody. He could have criticized Ben Cherington. He could have, said we could have done more. We could have, we had the backing that we needed. We didn't do it. No, he went straight to, we didn't have we weren't given the resources to do so. It's hard to not take that personally whenever I've witnessed how much he cares, and he cared about
here's the thing. What the other thing that ended up happening, and I know firsthand, is that he got scapegoated. All right. I mean, he got scapegoated in a big way. And take that from, I can't. He got scapegoated. And it was as if everything that had occurred to that point was his fault. All of Cherington's terrible trades, all his really, really bad early drafts that he doesn't get enough blame for, hanging on to the failed Latin American scouting director about 3 years too long, 4 years too long. It's a long list of things that Cherington screwed up. In Nutting's case, he's the overseer, and there was no accountability whatsoever. You had all kinds of PR gaffes and stuff. Most of that would end up leading in a different direction, the business direction, and Travis Williams and so forth. And yet the only guy who not only walked the plank, but got really, really, really attached to that plank.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it got named for him, was Shelton.
Yeah.
And I can't even, he's not the kind of guy that was just going to let that slide today. I didn't think he would do this. But
again, I understand why. I've been around Shelton enough to know, I understand why.
Okay.
When I'm just saying, whenever he like you said, he didn't have to go there. He didn't have to. But whenever he gets scapegoated, whenever the reason why things weren't going forward and everything gets pretty much, whether it be unofficially or whatever, pinned on his shoulders, he's like, yeah, that's not right.
The Pirates and Twins are playing right now. Helmets. Nobody's saying anything about the helmets. Pirates and Twins are in Bradenton. The Pirates are up 4-3 through 6 full innings, 2 hits each for O'Neill Cruz. Had 2 hits yesterday as well. Spencer Horwitz, Nick Gonzalez. Where Gonzalez is concerned, you're going to want to check out either our website or our YouTube channel for a nice interview that Jose Negron did with him down there earlier this morning. You want to talk about, I don't want to say Gonzalez was scapegoated, but Gonzalez was the only guy from last year's team, if you really think about it, who just flat out lost his job.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just said, no, second base, we're going to upgrade. Again, there's merit to it, but it's one of those things that you would think would kind of fester a little bit. So I don't know, Chris. I'm in a state of mind here where I just go. Everyone needs to remember that whenever there's been this much failure for this period of time, that it's impossible for it not to reflect on whoever or whatever happens to be at the very top of a structure.
Mm-hmm.
And this owner is at the top of this structure. And the other thing that I know 100% for sure, and this is the reason that he said he was happy for Ben, is that Ben didn't want to fire him.
Mm-hmm.
Ben was overruled. And then Ben was told to go sit in the press conference and tell everybody that he fired the manager. He didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And did he lie, or was he just told to lie and followed orders? One way or another, I believe that the Pirates have the right guy as manager right now. I believe the players, when they told me, the veteran players, that Shelton had quote unquote checked out, and that wasn't just one person using that exact terminology. That ended up being the common phrasing for it.
Mm-hmm.
There he went. That was the end of that. That was the end of Shelton. And now I think it all wound up for the better because Don Kelly needs to be managing in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and two things can be true: that Shelton wasn't given the full chance to, he wasn't given this type of a roster. But also can also be true that Don Kelly might be the right manager for this roster too. So hearing the way the players have talked about Kelly, I'm that's why when I brought it up, I think last week, this is his first time, going through this entire process, going through the spring training, the team building process of being the manager. This is his first real go around. Yes, he was officially the manager last year. Great. But this is the first time you are steering the ship from the time it leaves the port. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. Gonna be fun to see.
So we're loading up here the video that just came up from Florida, so that you can see and hear Shelton for yourself. You don't have to guess at any of his various inflections and so forth. You'll be able to
see the screenshot of the video wearing those patented Shelton sunglasses and chilling in the dugout, and
hair all slicked back and everything.
Those are always fun, man. Those pregame conversations were fun.
Here it is.
I think at some point you wish, that you would have seen the investment that they saw this offseason, but good for them. I mean, and I'm very happy for Ben that, he had the ability to go out and acquire guys, and they're a better club than, they probably were at any point during the tenure here with the people that they've added, and it's going to be exciting to see. I mean, they have the best pitcher in the game. Yeah. Obviously, they have the best prospect in the game, who is uber exciting to watch, and I'm a little disappointed he's not in the lineup today because he's a guy that you want to watch, but I'm happy for Pirates fans that they got the investment they did this offseason.
Now, when you heard him say it, it sounded so much more like Happy Land than when I read it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice that?
But words are words.
That's why we put these things up for you, because you might think that I did this or that or whatever. I was just reading it, but I read it the way I think he actually intended to say it.
Well, yeah, you can be saying something. Now, not everything that's said that's taking a shot at somebody has to be, said in a certain way where the gifs and memes come roaring, and afterwards like, oh, he said that. It doesn't have to be like that.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you could be saying something where you're like, hey, you know what? Good for them. And the way he said it didn't surprise me. That was a very Derek Shelton way of talking. But
it sure was. If you're interested in becoming a member of our channel and supporting what it is that we do, here on Double Shot of Pirates, and really all of the Pirates stuff that we've been bringing you from the South. Please consider becoming one. We're available at dkps.net/join pirates. You can see that on the screen here below our Pirates and Twins snazzy new helmets. And the Join Pirates part of that web address, make sure it's all lowercase. Otherwise, you'll just get this dead link.
Mm-hmm.
So it's dkps.net/join pirates. There's 3 different levels to pick from. What's that?
Really quick, I did want to at least walk by the ballpark here, by the way.
Victory Field.
Yeah, Victory Field here in Indianapolis, home of the Class AAA Indianapolis Indians. I wanted to just see if I could break some news here. If they had, because they have all the player posters, if they would have already put up a Connor Griffin poster here.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, and there is not one. But I at least wanted to walk by the ballpark just to see and be like, hey, I think they're expecting Connor Griffin to be here.
There it is, everybody. You wanted hot news.
Yeah,
Chris checked all the pennants.
I tried. I just I'm like, hey, I might as well do my due diligence here. It was on my way going somewhere else for my football work, but no.
That's
just gonna see.
That's all right. That sounds like a blaring headline for me.
No Connor Griffin posters at Victory Field.
I'll take it. We have one of our Sights and Sounds entries too, that was put together by our staff in Bradenton here. We're gonna play that one for you as well here. I think we're starting to hear from people who really like these. It takes you into the scene, both visibly and audibly.
I think the biggest thing that this bullpen is looking to achieve is just knowing that we have, one of the better starting rotations in baseball, a young core, and allowing them, their success to be finished by us. Let them do their thing, and let's handle, the last 2, 3, 4 innings of the game and keep it boring. That's something I've always kind of told myself as a reliever. Like, if my outing was boring, then I did my job.
Let's go, Gary.
We're excited for the opportunity. Our standard has been raised, I would say, internally, and we're going to have to answer that call from the bullpen, and hope to finish out a lot of winning victories. Yeah.
There's a lot of experienced guys in the bullpen that are coming back, but then we've also got a lot of young guys, a lot of young talent coming up. So excited to be a part of that, hopefully, and help this team win some baseball games.
No, I think we have it's going to be a very exciting bullpen. There's some guys that kind of cemented themselves on the back end last year. Guys like Isaac and Dennis that have proven that they can handle those capabilities of a back-end bullpen, and then I think there's guys that are kind of rising as guys that can handle those situations, like Nicholas, and I think he's going to be a huge part of our bullpen this year, and coming and getting guys out of jams, and he has the strikeout stuff, and then you add, veteran presence like Soto. It's you kind of see this thing get pieced together and start to look really complete.
That's pretty cool. The programming that we offer like that's what you're supporting. That's, somebody asks occasionally, what are the perks, whatever. And we have perks. We have live shows, we have members only shows, and things like that. But the real perk is that we're doing it at all. Just being honest with you, because it does involve time and money and so forth. So it's dkps.net/lowercase join pirates. Jose Negron checks in, watching the show while he's covering the game down there in Bradenton. FLA says, "Feed me Indy banner updates, Halleck."
Yeah, I didn't notice which players they were. I was looking for just the Connor Griffin face, and None of them that I saw were the Connor Griffin face. So
No.
I think,
No more Jack Sawinski to kick around.
I was
there
about to say,
either.
I actually think they were starting to do construction on the Jack Sawinski statue outside of Victory Field.
Jack could do that. Jack's going to end up being the 4A MVP, I'm sure, somewhere.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about Cruz since he's got another couple of hits today. When you see Cruz going well, you'll see not only the contact and not only the light tower power and all that other stuff from him, but you'll see the occasional walk and you'll see him loop a line drive into left. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's a strange hitter to study because you look, even the nature of obviously his ridiculous height, his huge strike zone. He has a lot of strike zone to protect. And at the same time, you still think of him, mostly for either, well, being honest here, either home runs or striking out. But how important do you think it is for him to get those walks to make sure that he's being patient, that he's seeing his pitches?
Oh man, that might be the whole that might be the missing piece. If you can at least, I mean, in today's game, you don't have to be a 280, 290 hitter to be an impactful hitter. Sure, if you can bat, in the upper 200s or even be one of the few that get over 300 nowadays. I mean, obviously that's especially if you pair that with power, those are the star players. But to still be an impactful player, to be a guy who can have an OPS, above 750 or even flirt with 800.
He's been there. He's been there at times.
If you can draw the walks, if you can get on, just get on base, have that on base percentage be 350, 360, something along those lines where it's at least because if you're batting, 230, which that would be a marked improvement for him. But if you could bat 230
points, yeah,
that's what I'm saying. But if you could bat 230, but your OBP is 350, then that just goes to show that, okay, well, at least whenever he's not, getting hits, he's at least able to continue to get walks. And I've covered, I've covered Joey Gallo, who was the ultimate true outcome hitter. It was a home run, a strikeout, or a walk. Just about every single time. There was at one point in his career where he had more home runs than singles. And that just, but he was still an impactful hitter. His OBP would flirt with 400 because he would just walk. So if Cruz can become, I'm not saying that, but if he can draw way more walks, if he can get on base much more often, then you can start flirting with him being the leadoff hitter. Then you can start taking advantage of his ability to steal bases. Because we know he can do that at an elite level. And I think one of the things, and I'm not trying to be a hitting coach here or anything, but, from some of the guys I've covered in the past, whether it be the Rangers or the Pirates, but everywhere I've just been around the game, with these guys that have freaky power, they don't have to try to mash the ball.
No, they really don't. It doesn't need to go 113 miles an hour.
Make contact.
It just needs to clear that last fence.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just make contact. Take something off the swing to make sure that you make contact. And just because of your natural ability to produce power, you put the right part of the bat on the ball, you're going to send it.
True.
You're going to send it going.
So true. Let's take care of our members here at the end here with a little bit of a special display. Pete asks, does our shop carry those yellow hats with the little palm trees that the Pirates are wearing down? No, we don't. We have every other hat under the sun. If you want to file a complaint with the boss, you can do that. They're actually really cool.
Mm-hmm.
She said what? They're not even available.
Yeah, you think I can have everything the Pirates have?
There's those guys are those hats are for sale at Lecom Park.
Mm-hmm.
And they're for sale at Lecom Park, as far as I know. I don't know where else you can get them. I know it's not here. I will tell you that we have every other Pirates cap under the sun.
Probably MLB.com is probably the only place. Usually something like the spring training hats are not made for everybody to distribute.
Yeah. Michael Bobrick says for Cruz, fewer Ks, especially looking, and more walks. He also says the better news will be a Connor Griffin debut banner at PNC Park here. RVN says, I always kind of like Derek Shelton, and I'm really excited for the direction that things seem to be going under Don Kelly. And that's fair, but I do think that it's also fair to point out the distinction, as Shelton did today, in the level of the commitment from ownership and the caliber of the rosters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, Griffin would have been either manager's player. So the Griffin, you don't count. But Ryan O'Hearn, Brandon Lau, Jake Mangum, Marcelo Zuna, these are not things that were showing up previously. Okay. I'm of the belief here that the commitment that ownership has made to this season is being immensely overstated, because they initially just whacked so much payroll in 2025 that they gave off the illusion that everybody who was coming along was just, it was 0+.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't. It wasn't. They are over last year's payroll. Okay. And they're probably going to end up, what have I been saying for years and years and years? The Pirates are roughly 10 to 20 million below where they should be.
Mm-hmm.
I've been saying it for years and years and years. So what did they spend extra this year?
10 to 20 million.
10 to 20 million. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Jared says that those spring hats are available online. I'm sure everybody can find that. They are nice, though. I'm not going to lie. I got some close-up looks of those things when I was down there, and they're getting a lot of heat, Major League Baseball, of late for some uniform flaws and designs and so forth. But
Yeah.
that's pretty nice. Guys, we're going to have to cut this one off to head over to our eventful hockey show. Lots and lots of stuff to talk about there as well. Appreciate you guys. One more time, if you want to support what we're doing, go to dkps.net/all lowercase. Join Pirates. See you over on the Penguins channel.